Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Stylist Meets Vinyl. My name is Chris. Guys, today is a momentous episode. At least for me, it is momentous. Now, I'll tell you the history behind this episode. So, my parents, years ago, back when I lived at home with them, they told me they wanted to get rid of their record collection. I said, no, hold on to it. I want those records someday. So they held on to their records for a few more years. Eventually, I moved out. And then I took the collection with me, and that was the beginning of my record collecting. And so they had, I think, 107 records that I got from them. I still have about 70 of those records, and those records were like the original start to my collection. So with that in mind, I made a list of 20 records that I really wanted in my collection. And the purpose of the list was to provide me some direction, and a goal to look for when I'm out in the wild. And the idea was that these, along with the original records that my parents had given me, combined with these records, they would provide the building blocks and the basis for my record collection. The idea also was that, when you see it, act on it. If it's a good price, if it's a good condition, these are ones you really want, act on it, buy it. And then you can start experimenting with other records and spending money on other records. So I made a list of 20 records. Eventually that expanded to 30 records. And I had one rule for myself. The one rule was that I had to find these records in the wild by myself. I mean, I could have just ordered them online, gone on Discogs or eBay or whatever, and ordered them online, and I could have added 10 in a day to my collection. But that's too easy. And all of these records, none of them are super hard to find. They're all very general, easy to find, common records. I just completed this list. That was about 2019, late 2019 that I made the list originally. It's taken me over 3.5 years to find all of these records and add them to my list. And I had certain rules for some records, which I'll go through as I get into these records. But I hope you guys enjoy this. The 30 records, the building blocks for my collection. So, and I'm going to go through them in order of how I found the record, order in which I purchased them. The first one, David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. This is a must-have. I thought if I just had to have one Bowie record, this is the record that I have to have, and I'm so glad that I did, because this record is phenomenal and I absolutely love it. I'm gonna try to be pretty quick with these because it's gonna take a while. Okay, next up we have Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here. Again, I had Dark Side already, and that's the thing is you might say, hey, where's Dark Side? Why isn't that on this list? Well, I had it already. I already had Led Zeppelin 4. I had Led Zeppelin 1. And I thought, what are the other ones that I need? How do I flush this out before I start spending money on other records that I care that I don't know about, blind buying certain things. Okay, that's the idea. So next we have Radiohead, OK Computer. This is another pivotal record from when I was growing up. This is 1997 when Radiohead just started to kind of change their sound a little bit. And, Paranoid Android was a massive hit when I was young, as was this entire album. And I just was like, I need this on vinyl. Next we've got, here it is, Pink Floyd Animals. This is the, and also I will say for these records, I wasn't too picky about making them, if they were a reissue or originals, finding originals. I wasn't too picky about it. I just wanted to find a good copy condition of that record and add it to my collection. Not Pink Floyd, Neil Young, After the Gold Rush. Another great one. This is right before Harvest. Had to add that one into my collection because I had Harvest. I'm like, what else do I need? Okay, this is one I had seen a lot in vinyl videos, and I just thought I need this one as well. King Crimson, In the Court of the Crimson King. This is a monster of prog, one of the original prog records, and had to have it. Okay, this one, I am really glad I found it when I did, because now it's very hard to find and it's actually increased in value a lot. So this is Them Crooked Vultures, self-titled. This is from 2009. This is Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age, and John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin together on one album. It's a fantastic album. I'm so glad that I saw it. When I saw it in the shop, I was able to pick it up. And it was, I think I spent $38 or $39 on this, which now is considered a steal. But back then was like, that was a lot of money for me to be spending on records. But I'm so glad that I did. Okay, next. Not their best, but this is CSN, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I just wanted to flesh out my CSN and CSNY collection a little bit more, and I'd heard that this one was good. Okay, we've got Rainbow Rising. This is Ronnie James Dio and Richie Blackmore together, their debut album since Blackmore left Deep Purple. Fantastic album. Really happy to have this. Hard rock, heavy metal, early heavy metal stuff. Very nice. Okay, next is T for the Tillerman, Cat Stevens. I have Teaser and the Firecat, which is amazing. Really love that one. And I knew this one was very similar to that and just wanted to add this one to the collection. Okay, I'm a big Bob Seger fan. I haven't talked about him in a while, but Bob Seger, this is Stranger in Town. I had Night Moves. I had his best of already, but I wanted to have this one. This has got like Hollywood Nights, Still the Same, Old Time Rock and Roll, and we've got Tonight on here. Fantastic, really good addition. Next, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Deja Vu. I actually had a copy of this already, but when I bought it, it ended up being warped, so I had to replace it. So this was the replacement copy. This is a reissue, but that's all right. Next up, another album that I saw commonly in the vinyl community and just had to add. This is The Zombies, Odyssey and Oracle. This is a fantastic psychedelic record from, I think, 1967 or 68. If you like psych music, this is a must-have. You gotta have it. And this is, you know, it looks super trippy, but it's not even that trippy. But it's a beautiful, beautiful album. Next, with the thrash metal, Metallica, Ride the Lightning. Master of Puppets was one of the first albums that I purchased brand new, like sealed, after I started my record collecting, and Ride the Lightning was kind of next on the list. And it took me a while to track down a really nice sealed copy, but this is a nice with the hype sticker. This is a remaster from, I want to say about 2018, but I'm not quite sure. Okay, next we've got Lynyrd Skynyrd. This is pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd, their debut album. One of the best debuts out there. This has got Freebird, Simple Man, what else? Tuesday's Gone, Give Me 3 Steps. Very, very good one. Just had to have this one. I figured if I never have any other Skynyrd albums, this is the one that I want to have. Okay, now this is a caveat a little bit to the rule I said about not buying online. And I didn't buy this online, but someone else did, and they gifted it to me. And this was my friend Sean. He gave me, this is Manassas, Stephen Stills' project from 1972 after CSNY broke up. I just had told my friend that I was looking for this album, and he went out and bought it for me and shipped it to my house. So a huge thank you to my friend Sean for that. But as I said, this is the only record on this list that came from online. But I didn't buy it online, so that's why it's on the list. I didn't buy it. Okay, next, another fantastic album. This is Raconteurs, Consolers of the Lonely. This is a Jack White project after the White Stripes broke up. There's the hype sticker there. That's like a floating sticker. This is a fantastic album from, I'm not sure, 2008-ish, 2007, 8, something like that. This is another one that, like, I heard it, I fell in love with it, and I had to have it on vinyl. It took me a while to find, too. Okay. Bob Dylan, Blood on the Tracks. This is a fantastic album. I've talked about this a couple times. Heart-wrenching album. I recommend, if you're getting into Dylan, listen to this one first. You might really, really like it. It's fantastic. Okay, next. From 1987, Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses. This is a staple of any collection, I think. If you want to have some hard rock, you got to have GNR in there. This has got, you know, Sweet Child of Mine, Paradise City, Welcome to the Jungle. Again, is like, if I never have any other Guns N' Roses albums, this will be okay to have. Okay, next. Neil Young, everybody knows This Is Nowhere. This is his second album from 1969. Fantastic album. It's got Down by the River. It's got Cinnamon Girl. It's got Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere. Cowgirl in the Sand as well. So good. This is with Crazy Horse. Okay, next. Pink Floyd, The Wall. This is not my favorite Floyd album. I don't talk about it too often, but you know what? It's like you can't have a Pink Floyd collection if you don't have The Wall. And I will eventually have, I'm not a completist on every album that every group that I have, but Floyd is one of those bands that I'm gonna have all of their albums. And actually, I had a weird rule with Pink Floyd albums while I was making this list. You can buy used Floyd albums. You can find the new reissues pretty easily. And I specifically decided to go for the reissues because Floyd has some quieter passages in their albums. And I really just wanted it to be a pristine, perfect copy. I didn't want to take any chances on used records that had crackles and pops on them. And also those used ones are more expensive. These ones, when I bought them, they were $25 to $30 Canadian, which is really, really good. So, Pink Floyd, The Wall. Next, the only Hendrix on the list. This is Electric Ladyland. This is his third with the Jimi Hendrix Experience. The only reason why it's the only one on the list is because I had his first two already and I needed to flesh this one out. This is actually from a box set. It was separated, but it's got a booklet in here, and it's also got a DVD in here as well, or a Blu-ray, which is really cool. Okay, next, solo Beatles. This is John Lennon, Yoko Ono, the Plastic Ono Band. I just listened to this today, actually, not even because I was making this video. This is a great album, John's debut after the Beatles broke up. I had George's debut, I had one from Paul already, and I needed to have one for John, and this is the one that I chose. Very good album. Okay, next. Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti. As I was saying with the Pink Floyd albums, I specifically said I want them to be new and like in the shrink, to unwrap. I wanted them to be pristine. For some reason, don't ask me why, I went the other way on the Led Zeppelins. I wanted them to be older copies that were used already, maybe because there's less quieter passages in Zeppelin songs than there are in Floyd songs. But this was a nice used copy, and this is a double album. Very nice to have. And again, just like Pink Floyd, I intended to have every Zeppelin album, and I do now have every Zeppelin album. Okay, next we've got, this is Arcade Fire. This is Funeral from 2004, their debut album. Another album that I listened to a lot when I was growing up, when I was a teenager. Fantastic, and I had to have this one in the collection as well. Okay, we're going back to Zeppelin. This is Houses of the Holy. Fantastic album. This is an album that I didn't really appreciate until I had it on vinyl. Together, those songs all together, perfect. Really, really good. And this is like a very, very clean copy. It's like near mint all around. Really, really nice gatefold here. That was perfect to add. Okay, next. I've always been a Beatles guy. I got into the Stones really late, but I do love the Stones, and Exile on Main Street, I knew that I'm like, okay, I have Let It Be, or Let It Bleed, and I was like, what else? What else is there? Exile on Main Street had to have. This is a double album as well. Took me a while to find this in a good condition too, because this is a pricey album when it's used and in good condition, but I found a nice copy and I jumped on it. Okay, next we're getting down to the end here. We have Arcade Fire. This is The Suburbs. Again, I mentioned Arcade Fire already. This was a very pivotal album for me when I was growing up. This came out in, I don't know, I want to say 2010 maybe. Really, really nice album. Some really memorable tracks on here, and just really meaningful for me when I was growing up. Okay, this last one, or no, second last one. Led Zeppelin 3. As I said, I already had Led Zeppelin 2, I had Led Zeppelin 4, and the other ones I showed were like, okay, I need these in my collection. I was really picky about this one in particular because I wanted it to be an original with the red Atlantic. That's the Canadian Atlantic label. That this one, that label, they switched over to the other Atlantic right around 1970-ish, something like that. And it's got the working pinwheel, and that was another little rule I had for myself for this one. I wanted the red Atlantic labels with the working pinwheel. This one cost me a little bit, but it sounds good, and it was on the list, so you know, I had to do it. And the last one, I just found this like last week. This was the holdout of my list, and I couldn't make this video until I found it, and that is Rolling Stone Sticky Fingers with the functional zipper. You know, like, you can find this, you can find reissues, and you can find sealed copies, but I wanted one with the zipper, and I finally found it last week. I mentioned a couple times in this video about the records that I already had in my collection. If you're curious about any of those ones, which kind of is like the part one to this video, check out a video I made a long time ago, which is top 20 free records that I didn't have to pay for or something. 20 of my favorite records from the beginning when I inherited a collection that I was really happy to have. So they kind of go hand in hand with all of these. So make sure you check that one out too, okay? So that is it. Those are the 30 albums that I had to have in my collection as kind of bedrocks for my collection. And now that I've done this, two things. I'm free to experiment a bit more and spend some money on some other albums that maybe I'm less familiar with, but I've been meaning to check out. And also, I might start ordering some records online now. I found these, I made it my rule to find them in the wild, and I did it, and now I might see what's out there online and kind of expand my horizons a little bit. So that is it. What do you guys think of my list? Let me know. And obviously, I think I should go without saying, these aren't the only records that I listen to. I have many other records I've been discovering along the way, and I've been adding other discoveries along the way, but those were just the ones I needed to have. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, give it a like. Let me know in the comments if you have any of these albums or what you think about them. And whatever you do, make sure you come right back here where Stylus meets vinyl. Thanks everybody. See you soon. Bye.